Hey, it's Jeff, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of the Disney Roundup for 2019. And as for the last episode of 2019, I'll be recapping what an iconic year it was for Disney. We also have some opening details regarding Avengers Campus coming to Disney California Adventure, and we'll also take a look at how Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is doing at the box office. I have all that and more coming up right here on the DRU. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Disney Roundup, where I bring you up to date on what's going on with the Walt Disney Company and Disney parks each and every single week. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me so you can stay up to date with the Disney Roundup and check out some other cool videos that I'll be posting. In fact, very soon I'll be posting videos of my trip to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge down at Walt Disney World. So if you're interested in checking that out, please hit that subscribe button and look for those videos soon. And you can also download the Disney Roundup on podcasts. You can download the Disney Roundup on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for those listening to the Disney Roundup on podcast, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hey, it's Jeff, to check out some cool videos in the Disney Roundup on there as well. Starting off with company news, we'll take a look first on how Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is doing at the box office. So for its opening weekend, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker domestically made $177.4 million, and internationally it did $198.8 million, bringing it to a total of $376.2 million. Now, for its second week, it pulled in another $72 million domestically, and for a total of the second week, it made $361.8 million for its 10-day mark being in theaters. And for this movie, it is just shy of what The Last Jedi did, because like I mentioned, so far on its 10-day mark, it did $361.8 million, and after 10 days of being out, The Last Jedi did $368 million. Now, thoughts and review on this movie. I enjoyed it. I did. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie that Disney's made, and honestly, it may be my least favorite. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews both ways. I feel like this movie's 50-50 if people enjoyed it or not. But yes, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Alright, now for outside the parks news. There is an M&M store coming to Disney Springs. The new state-of-the-art store will offer an immersive experience that combines the colorful fun that fans of M&M's brand enjoy with lasting memories. Guests will be fully immersed into an interactive chocolate experience that will create more moments and more smiles throughout the colorful fun of M&M's, said Patrick McIntyre, who is the director global retail over at Mars Retail. The M&M store is set to open in Disney Springs in 2020. It is supposed to be near the area of the new NBA experience, but hopefully the M&M store has more people coming into it than what the NBA experience does. Now for parks news. We have some opening details regarding Avengers Campus coming to Disney California Adventure. Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure Park will begin summer of 2020. The campus is set up by the Avengers to recruit the next generation of superheroes. Avengers Campus is home to the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, also known as WEB, which will house the new Spider-Man experience, the first Disney ride-through attraction to feature this iconic superhero. During an open house at WEB, the aspiring inventors are excited to invite you for a test drive of the latest invention, the Web Slinger vehicle, which allows you to sling webs just like Spider-Man. The attraction gives you the taste of what it's like to have actual superpowers as you help Spider-Man collect Spider-Bots. The Avengers Campus will also feature a PIM test kitchen, just as Ant-Man and the Wasp use PIM particles to grow and shrink just about anything. PIM Technologies is using the latest innovations to grow and shrink food at this eatery. You will also find heroic encounters throughout the campus, including Black Widow, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Doctor Strange, the Guardians of the Galaxy, superheroes from Wakanda and Asgard, and Iron Man himself. As superheroes continue to assemble at the campus, one of its iconic buildings will be the Avengers headquarters, where you should be on the lookout for the Avengers in action. Now, the main e-ticket attraction that was announced at this past year's D23 Expo that will feature the Avengers is still a few years away, but I will keep you guys posted the more information I hear about this, because I've heard this attraction is supposed to be, I don't know if it's supposed to be right up with Rise of the Resistance, but it's supposed to be in the same category with it. But yeah, subscribe to my channel and look for more content on the big Avengers attraction coming to the Avengers campus in the future. And as today is the final episode of the Disney Roundup for the year, it is also New Year's Eve. And over at Magic Kingdom, they will be showing the Fantasy in the Sky fireworks parade, and Disney Parks blog will be live streaming that. So if you want to check that out, you can go over to Disney Parks YouTube page and check that out. They'll be posting that live. And in the future, I will be leaving a link to the Fantasy in the Sky fireworks show in the description down below. Right, now for the yearly recap of 2019. So if some of you know, after the Disney Roundup, after the parks news, I normally just wrap it up and close out the show after that. But I thought we would take a look at what an iconic year Disney had in 2019, because they had a lot going on. It's probably one of their biggest years that I've ever seen. So I just wanted to recap a little bit of the big moments that they had this year, from all of the company news, the parks and experiences, the movies, all of it this year. So starting off in January, Black Panther became the first Marvel Studios film to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. In March, Captain Marvel was released, and the first of many films this year to cross $1 billion. Also in March, Disney acquired 21st Century Fox, which is the reason why we see some of the shows and TV series on Disney Plus, like The Simpsons. In April, Avengers Endgame debuted in the theaters and went on to become the #1 global release of all time. In May, the live-action Aladdin movie came to theaters and was another Disney film to cross $1 billion globally. Also in May, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge made its debut over at Disneyland, taking guests to Black Spire Outpost on the planet of Batuu. In June, the toys returned for Toy Story 4 and went on to be Disney's 5th billion-dollar movie of the year. In July, the live-action The Lion King was released and went on to cross $1 billion and was Disney's second biggest release, just behind Avengers Endgame this year. In August, we had the D23 Expo this year, and many new Disney legends were announced, including Robert Downey Jr., Jon Favreau, Robin Roberts, and Bette Midler. New movies and series were announced for Disney Plus, including the upcoming Untitled Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which will star Ewan McGregor, who is the original Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you remember. We also have a new Lizzie McGuire series that's coming to Disney Plus as well, that will star no other than Hilary Duff herself. We also, at the D23 Expo, got never-before-seen footage that was released for upcoming films like The Eternals, Jungle Cruise, Onward, and many more. And Bob Chapek announced his plans for the Disney parks and experiences, including the new transformation coming to Epcot, the new Disney Cruise Line ship, Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, and more. And if you're interested in seeing all of the announcements that Bob Chapek announced at the D23 Expo for parks, experiences, and products coming, I will leave a link to that video down in the description below if you want to check that out. And also, at the end of August, I can't forget that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge also came to Walt Disney World over in Hollywood Studios. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I just recently went to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge down in Walt Disney World. And if you're interested in checking out any of those videos, especially my Rise of the Resistance ride-through video, I will leave links to those videos down in the description for in the future. And you can also subscribe to my channel to look for those videos when I post them as well. Going on to September, Disney Skyliner opened at Walt Disney World, and let us not forget that just days after opening, the Disney Skyliner broke down, leaving guests stranded for hours before they had to be evacuated. Whether this was a highlight for Disney this year or not is still to be determined. I don't believe the Skyliner has had any major breakdowns like this since then, but Yes, still to be determined if this was a highlight for Disney in 2019 or not. Now, in October, over at Epcot, we said goodbye to one of the beloved nighttime spectaculars that was Illuminations and welcomed a new filler show, Epcot Forever, which will be the filler show over at Epcot until the new permanent one in 2020, Harmonious, takes place. And in November, The Wonderful World of Disney presented The Little Mermaid live on NBC in honor of the 30th year celebration of the animated film. And of course, we also received Disney Plus. It finally made its release, bringing together Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Nat Geo, and some 21st century content all in one streaming service. And also debuted original hit shows like The Mandalorian and The Imagineering Story. If you haven't checked out any of those series yet, I highly recommend them. Both are fantastic. Also in November, Frozen 2 made its way into theaters, taking us into the unknown and became another Disney film this year to cross a $1 billion mark. And in December, Disney released One Day at Disney, a Disney Plus collab series, as well as a book going through all of the different roles under the Walt Disney Company, like Imagineering, ABC Studios, Disney Parks Live Production, and much, much more. It's very interesting to see all of the roles and all of the people that work under the Walt Disney Company and what they do on a daily basis. So I highly recommend checking or reading that as well. Also, we received Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios, the new Star Wars attraction that was hyped up to the max. I can say it did not disappoint, but like I mentioned, check out that video that I'll be posting soon. It's fantastic. Or if you're down in Disney World, I highly recommend going to see it. But it is the most advanced and immersive attraction ever to be placed in a Disney park. And I know still to this day, if you want a chance to ride Rise of the Resistance, or if you want to ride it early, you will probably have to get up around 4 o'clock in the morning, which I did personally, but it is definitely worth it. Also, to close out the year with Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, debuted in the theaters and is not currently, but expected to cross the $1 billion mark as well. So yes, a very iconic year for Disney and probably one of their best, if not their best, years ever. So I'm anxious to see how 2020 goes for them. I'm anxious to see if it can at least compare to what 2019 was. I know there's not a ton of blockbuster hits set up for 2019, but I think there's a lot of good things coming to the parks this year. I'm excited to see some of the original content that's coming to theaters as well. Alright everyone, well that's all I have for you for this week's episode of the Disney Roundup. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to receive the Disney Roundup each and every single week. I hope everyone has a happy new year and looks forward to 2020. And until next time, we'll see you on the DRU.